Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new and you like to hear about opinions, reviews, analyses, and ramblings on films, books, and TV shows, be sure to click that subscribe button for more content from me. So, as mentioned in my previous video, this month's theme is Percy Jackson. So both of my videos this month will be on Percy Jackson. So today I will be doing my book talk on Percy Jackson and the Olympians, the Chalice of the Gods. So normally this is the part where I will hold up the book, show you guys the cover, but for now you're gonna have to settle for this image of the cover because I have it as an ebook, and I've noticed that whenever I would show the cover of a book on my iPad, because I use my iPad for my ebooks, the lighting kind of glares off the screen, so yeah. Anyway, so this video is going to be a short one today because this is basically just my thoughts and reactions to the latest installment in the Percy Jackson verse. So for those of you guys who are curious, where does this fit in the timeline, because the Percy Jackson universe is massive, this takes place after Heroes of Olympus but before the Trials of Apollo series. So we're reading from Percy's point of view in first person, and this honestly feels like coming home. It's just so easy to follow along with his thoughts, and he's one of those rare YA protagonists who have such a distinct personality. And I am aware that it's because a lot of these YA protagonists are supposed to be a fill-in for the reader, and you're supposed to project as a reader your personality, your feelings and thoughts onto them. So this is technically, like I said, this is not the first time we've had a Percy POV, but it is the first time in a while that we've had a first person Percy POV, because in Heroes of Olympus, what Rick Riordan did was that he would write each chapter in a character's perspective, but it's a third person limited. It's very different because obviously with Percy, there's still a lot of humor and sarcasm because it's Percy Jackson, but reading his perspective from third person limited to first person is just very different and distinct, and you feel a lot closer to him in first person than in the third person limited. So what I liked about this was that this entire conflict in the Chalice of the Gods, it's low-key lower stakes, the main quest is Percy, along with the help of Annabeth and Grover. They're trying to find Ganymede's chalice, the cup, so that he can get a letter of recommendation for his college application. So for those of you not aware, Ganymede is the cupbearer for the gods, and that's why they need to find his cup. Chalice. Same thing. Chalice is a cup, okay? So what I liked about it too is that, obviously I've read the first 5 Percy Jackson and the Olympians books. I've read Heroes of Olympus, sorta kinda read Trials of Apollo, and a lot of those, the conflict there is very much world ending. The world is at stake. So this one, the world's not at stake, it's just his college experience, which is still important, but a lot less lower stakes, which is what I like. That being said, please give this demigod a break. He's dealt with 2 potentially world-ending prophecies back to back, okay? And you still have the audacity to ask this man for 3 letters of recommendation. Make it make sense. But honestly, this would have made me side with the Titans. It's I saved the world for you guys, and then I just ask you to pay for your child support. I turned down immortality. The least you guys could do is get me a shoe-in for New Rome University, and you go, you still need 3 letters of recommendation, and I can't even use my father, who is Poseidon, as a reference. Make it make sense. It's just insane to read this again because again, like I said, the last time I read Percy's first person POV, I was younger than him. So I think I read The Last Olympian back when I was 12 or 13. That was the last time I read it, and so I'm going back into his first person point of view again, as a 24-year-old. So I'm older than him at this point, and I've already done the whole uni experience, so it's insane. But it's still Percy's is still so funny, and I still love reading his inner monologue. He is truly one of the most, if not the most, entertaining protagonist of all time. So in this book, we were introduced to a couple more minor gods. So like I said, we've mentioned Ganymede, who is cupbearer of the gods. We got Hebe, who is the goddess of youth, and then we got Jairus, yeah, aka Gary, who is the god of old age. So first thing I want to mention actually is Hebe. So the whole thing with Hebe, like being the goddess of youth, and her modern like adaptation being the longing for your youth and her baiting you with nostalgia, that was genius. Okay, because like, you know, like when I think of Hebe as like a modern adaptation, just like, okay, she's probably just a kid, but like her domain is like your youth, the nostalgia, and it hits different now because like, hey, I'm at that age where, yeah, I'm still young, I'm 24 years old, but being in your 20s is different than being in your teens. And the more changes you go through in life, the more you want to cling on to like the simpler times, like when you were younger. The more, personally for me at least, like I cling to stuff from my childhood the older I get. I think I've mentioned this in a previous video before, but whenever I get like super stressed, I think it was when I was still doing my undergrad, I just start watching like those old Disney movies and Disney Channel shows that I loved as a kid. So yeah. Anyway, so like the whole thing too, like Percy mentioned this in the book, but he mentioned that demigods never really had a time for childhood because they were hunted from a young age. You know, they were adults, they were adultified from a young age. Like that just, oof. I was like, dang, he's dropping facts. Uncomfortable facts, but facts nonetheless. So main conflict, this is a spoiler, is that like how he handled Jairus, so the god of old age, like at the end. And I'm actually gonna read like the passage from the book because it's actually like I was reading and I was like, what? So I just highlighted a few like things because it's like a whole page. So he goes, but if you grew older with people you loved, wasn't that better than any other alternative? Gary, I'm skipping ahead. Gary expected me to wrestle him, and unless I died young, I couldn't beat old age. But what if I embraced him? It was a ridiculous idea. Stop fighting and just hug it out with geriatric Gary. Side note, I love the use of the word geriatric. I don't know, it's just such a fun word to say. Geriatric. Anyway, skipping down a couple of lines. Then I said what I was pretty sure would go down in history as the dumbest last words ever. I love you, bro. And I was reading this, like, I was waiting for my turn at my dentist, and I was trying to keep it, I was trying not to laugh, because I was like, what the heck is going on? I died, like, I couldn't help myself, I full on was laughing, because I was like, power of friendship, buddy, come on, like, that's such a cop-out. I thought at first it was a cop-out, but listen, I did some, like, you know, like, I thought about it too, and, like, I was reading, like, there's another chapter after this, and obviously I was reading it, and I thought about it, and just this whole metaphor for embracing getting older, embracing growing up, and the changes that come with it, like, I actually needed this. I needed to read that. And it is okay, like, that's what Rick Riordan is saying here, is that it's okay to be scared and wrestle with the idea of getting older, but what makes our lives so precious is that we get to experience more things as we get older. You don't shy from getting older because not everyone is lucky to get older, you know? Like, for me personally, I just think it's a beautiful sentiment. And I'm 90% sure that Rick wrote this for, like, the OG fans, like, who read this series, like, years ago when they were kids and now they're adults. And so, but even then, even if it is for the original, like, fans from years ago, this can still be relatable to newer fans and, like, teens who have, you know, were fearing all of these changes, like going away for college and stuff. So just another, like, few more notes I have on this book is that I love the reunion of Annabeth, Percy, and Grover as a trio. Like, they really are the OG trio, and I love how they just fall back into their dynamics so easily. And you can tell they have such a deep friendship because, like, Percy sees himself getting older with not just Annabeth, but Grover too, and that just makes me super emo. Like, genuinely, I was just like, oh, trying not to cry because we're wearing makeup and contacts. So anyway, I'm very excited to actually read more of this trilogy, and it was confirmed to be a trilogy because Percy needs 3 letters of recommendation, and the next one is going to be out, I think they said it was going to be out in September, and it's called The Wrath of the Triple Goddess. And so I did a quick read of, like, the plot summary, and basically Percy has to house sit and pet sit for Hecate, who is the goddess of magic, crossroads, and a bunch of other stuff. And I'm super duper excited for this because, like I said, just the fact that the stakes are a lot lower, it's not world ending, you know, like it's fun. It's fun, but like you still get to see him, like it's not like a slice of life kind of thing, but it's like there's still conflict, but not as intense, which again, he deserves a break. He's done two back-to-back prophecies. Let him rest. So just to like, as I basically bring this video to a close, I do definitely recommend reading Chalice of the Gods if you are a fan of the original series, so Percy Jackson and the Olympians. And while it is not necessary to read the previous 5 books, like from the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series, or even like Heroes of Olympus, it is still good to read them beforehand, so you just have like knowledge of how the entire universe works. And that's a wrap on Percy Jackson and the Olympians, the Chalice of the Gods. So next month is Valentine's Day, so naturally, the theme is romance. So my next video will actually be my top 5 romance films to watch on Valentine's Day, and it should be up before Valentine's Day. So thank you so much for watching, have an awesome day, and please don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe. See you guys next time. Bye!